Joan.
And I'm Ellen. And we're Two Gals in Kentucky.
Ellen, I absolutely love these red shoes. There's something about red, sparkly shoes that are just magical.
I think there's probably something about sparkly shoes in general that's kind of magical.
Yes.
These were a birthday present from my daughter. Last year, it was winter, kind of it is like it is now in Kentucky, and I kept saying that my life was just like there were so many things going on and nothing was really great, and it was dark and dingy outside. And she said, wouldn't it be great, Mom, if you could just click your heels together and make everything come true that you want, so you don't have to do any of the work? And wouldn't that be great? All the hard work would be done. You would just have it.
That would be amazing. Unfortunately, it really doesn't work that way, does it? We don't get to just click our heels and get whatever we want. We have to take the journey. We have to put one foot in front of the other, and it's all a bunch of baby steps that eventually get you to where you're going.
That's true. And I think television, and I think commercials, and I think the internet, when things flash on it, It makes you think you can just kind of get it. And my whole thing always was, well, if they show me something on the internet I want, and if that can come out of the computer, that's pretty darn good. I used to think that when you climbed a mountain, that you went straight up the side of the mountain. You went from the bottom of the mountain and you went straight up the mountain. And it wasn't until I met my husband, who's from the Pacific Northwest, and I learned when I went to the Pacific Northwest afterwards, because I'm from New York City, that you don't just climb the side of a mountain. What you do on a mountain to get to the top is you go around on a trail and around, and it's kind of like wanting to get something really, really fast, something that's a quick fix. But if you have something that's a quick fix, what happens with it?
It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. You have to take the journey. First of all, there's value in the journey.
Yeah.
There's all of the lessons that you learn along the way. And that's the knowledge that you need to move forward and to make it sustainable.
Yeah.
So the journey really starts with that first decision, that you're going to change something, that you want to do something better or different. And then it's all the small decisions that you make along the way. And all of those are your learning experiences, and that's what's going to make it sustainable in the end. Because really, no change is permanent.
No.
Unless you take that journey, unless you take all of those small steps and you learn as you go.
Exactly. One of the reasons that we have these red shoes here today is we've worked really hard to try to make this second YouTube better than the first one. You learn from your mistakes and you take the bruises and the bumps and everything. And we thought about Dorothy's journey and how, you really think, she's in this house in Kansas, and the house goes into a cyclone, I think a tornado, and it goes whizzing around in the sky. She grabs her buddy Toto to come on in there with her, and then all of a sudden it lands with a thud. It lands in a place called Munchkin Land, I mean, come on, really? And kills a wicked witch. And all she wants to do is go home, but she can't go back up the way she came. Mm-hmm. And the only way that she can do it, and she was lucky because she had the Munchkins to kind of sing her along the way. And they sang her along the way, and along the way she went one foot in front of the other, of the other on that yellow brick road. And everybody has a yellow brick road, and Weight Watchers, which is what we were on to lose weight.
Yes.
In any weight loss program or any journey you take those first steps along the road, and you pass through many different adventures along the way. The steps of that journey, those skeletal steps of that journey, are very important. And as you said, it starts with...
They are. It starts with that first decision, but what you learn in the process is you learn to trust yourself. Because trusting in yourself is the most crucial part of anything you do in life. You have to be able to trust yourself and your own decision-making abilities. And then I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Part of trusting yourself is that you're going to stumble, you're going to make mistakes.
And you're going to get up.
And you're going to get up,
Yep.
and you're going to learn from that mistake.
Yep, exactly.
And you're going to say, well, I won't do that again.
Yeah,
and
or
maybe
do it
you will
different.
do it again, but you're going to learn from the mistakes. And that's the journey, is all those little baby steps, all those little mistakes, all those little victories when you do get it right, when you do have small successes. It's that whole journey that brings permanent, sustainable change to your life.
In everything.
In everything.
We're talking about weight loss today, and it does start with that first decision, because that very first decision, whether it's that, oh my gosh, I'm going to die, I'll never see my grandchildren, or if it's that I want to fit into something else besides the pants I'm buying that are black or navy blue. I want to wear hot pink pants. I mean, I never did.
I never did.
Did you want to wear hot pants?
No,
Gosh. But, maybe you would. You don't
Who
know. I mean,
knows?
when you're 90, you might want to wear
That's right.
hot pink pants, okay?
Yeah.
So you make the decision, and you make that decision, as Joan said, and whatever reason for that. And then, just like Dorothy did, you get on that road.
Mm-hmm.
And just think about her road. It wasn't smooth sailing, but she had all she wanted to do was to get home. That was her goal.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want to lose weight, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. All she wanted to do was to get home.
And
then you think about the Munchkins. The Munchkins that entertained her and led her on the way. And it's the same thing in real life. When you're embarking on a journey, not only do you have to learn to trust yourself, but you have to learn to identify a support system for yourself.
100%, yes.
And that is as crucial as learning to trust yourself, is to surround yourself with people that are going to build you up and hold you up.
Exactly. Now, there are people on that journey, whether they are friends who tell you that you're getting too small, or whether they are family members who say, I don't know how you eat that food. It looks disgusting. Why don't you eat some really good bread or whatever it is, or more pasta, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Those are all part of that journey. They might not be the positive part. It's kind of like, let's think. It's kind of like that scarecrow standing there, and he says, well, you can go that way, or you can go that way, or you can go that way. And poor Dorothy's standing there in those really nice red shoes, and she had to make some sort of a decision too. And even if people can't help you, they're there, and they will help you because they care about you or they love you, and that's what's important.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. When Joan lost all of her weight, she said her granddaughter locked herself in her room. You want to tell that story, what you thought was going on? Remember when you thought she was having a breakdown? That she was really struggling at school or something? And what was she making for you?
Yes.
That's a good story. Yes. This is a good story. This is a good one.
Yes. As I was closing in on the 100-pound mark of losing 100 pounds, my granddaughter went and she closed the door in her room, and she was in there forever. And I was a little nervous. I was thinking, oh my gosh, I hope she's okay.
How old is she?
She's 9.
She's 9. Yeah, you worry.
Yeah, and I was thinking, I wonder if she's having some kind of a crisis of some kind, and so I'm worrying. And eventually I go and I knock on the door because I'm really concerned. And what she was doing was she was in there making me this amazing poster congratulating me for losing 100 pounds. She was in there working on this poster, and it was absolutely beautiful, and it was so touching to me that she wanted to do that for me, and well, I kept it. I still have it.
Yeah, we still have it. It's in this room somewhere too.
Yes.
There's a whole thing that, I can't remember where it comes from, but it says it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes.
And I think it takes a village to have to have success on a journey.
Yes.
And success means a lot of different things, and we'll talk about, success and sustainability and further YouTubes, but if you have a lot of people around you, a lot of good people around you, and even some ones that are not supportive, you learn from that. You learn how they can help you, kind of like the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz, who didn't have a heart. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Wasn't he the one without a heart? But he really had one all along. He really cared. So even though he didn't show it, he was supporting too.
Yeah.
Joan has also, more than I have, she's gone into the physical part of weight loss and really focused on that. So maybe you could explain a bit about that, because your journey is unique in that.
Yeah, it is. I had a lot of weight to lose, as we've already talked about. I had well over 130 pounds to lose, just to be a normal size, not to be thin, but just to be regular. I had to lose at least 130 pounds. So about 25 pounds in, I decided that just changing my eating and my attitudes toward food wasn't going to be enough. And I decided to go back to the gym. And when I went back to the gym, I was still about 250 pounds. I was very, very
big. And Joan isn't that tall.
No.
It's not like she's 6 feet tall, and 250 pounds would not look terrible on you.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going.
If only I was taller.
I know, that's what I think. Yeah, those BMI charts are not fair.
They're not our friends.
No, they're not our friends. Yeah.
But anyway, I decided to go back to the gym, and it was either my first or second time in the gym. I was in the ladies only section because clearly I was very self-conscious and I wasn't ready to be out in the big boy gym. So I'm in this little ladies only room, and two other ladies came in while I was on the recumbent bike. And much to my shock and horror, they were looking at me and talking in their native language.
And taking pictures.
Yes, and laughing right at me with, looking at me, pointing, taking pictures, laughing. I was mortified. I didn't stop my workout, but when my workout was done, I had a decision to make. Back to those decisions. I could either slither out of there, come home, and never go back again, or I could walk up to these ladies and confront them. And I chose the latter because I was serious about this journey. Mm-hmm. And I walked up to them and I asked them what was so funny. And they both were very, very comfortable to tell me, "You're so big." There are no words. And as that's happening, I'm no longer wanting to slither or feeling bad about myself. I'm angry. So I said to them, "Yes, I am, but I am here."
Yeah, don't be those ladies.
Don't be those. Yeah, I said, I will not. I will be here every day. And the next time one of you looks over or laughs at me and points and takes my picture, I'll be going straight to the management, and your membership will be canceled. Because I had also taken a picture of them. And I let them know that. I took a picture of you as well, and I stood up to them. Well, the last part of this story, which is very interesting, is I posted it on a group called Connect, which is Weight Watchers social media type thing. Here we are throwing Weight Watchers' name out again, but that's okay.
Yeah, it worked for us.
Yeah, I posted on Connect about my experience, and within 24 hours, there were over 10,000 likes and comments.
Yeah.
People saying, "That's why I would never go to the gym. I would have left in tears and never gone back. And thank you for standing up to them." And it really impacted me.
It's bullying is what it is. It's bullying.
It is. Yeah. It is. And those are some of your defining moments in life when you decide if you're going to allow yourself to be beaten down or if you're going to rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
And I rose to the occasion.
Yeah. I think bullying is not only in weight loss, it's in, our kids hear it in school all the time. You know,
Yeah.
middle school kids are, they're awful.
Yeah.
Well, how come you're wearing, those pants? They're from the 60s. How come you're doing this?
Yeah.
So this is all bullying. We have to be very careful that we respect people. Respect is a big thing. And Joan has a strong belief in herself. But people who are overweight deal with bullying all the time. They deal with stereotypes all the time. And it's very hard to get beyond that, because you're just expecting that if you sit in a chair and you don't have space on either side of it and your body is hanging over it, that people are going to notice that. Whether they notice it or not, I don't know, but you're very self-conscious about it. And what Joan did by standing up for that, I don't think I would have done that. Just so you know, I would still have gone back to the gym. I probably would have put on more layers of clothes and worn more black to the gym, and maybe found a nice wall that I could be the same color of. But that kind of a thing, that's believing in yourself, and that confidence moved her on to the next step. It's like when Dorothy actually killed the Wicked Witch of the West and got the red shoes from Glinda, she had some confidence. I mean, those darn munchkins were singing her along that road, and the lollipop kids were singing her along the road, and they got her there. And, these were the flying monkeys.
Yeah.
These were the flying monkeys
Yes,
in
they
Joan's,
were.
in Joan's ointment. So it's really important that, she went and she did the physical stuff. The other part is the stuff that's in your head. And that headspace of a journey, everybody does it differently. You have friends, you do yourself, you have your family. But Joan can talk a little bit more about her headspace in her journey. I mean, we talked about the gym headspace. I think the physical exercise helped her as well.
I think that the headspace is probably the most important thing in any journey, because you have to believe it. I read a quote somewhere that said,
you have to believe it.
Your body believes what your brain thinks. And I really think that's true. I think that it all starts between your ears. And so when I made that decision that I was going to do this, that I was going to get healthy, and we talked about the fact that I'm a type 2 diabetic, from that point on, my headspace was, this is not a diet. This is how I live now. This is how I live now. I go to the gym religiously. I go to the gym, barring complications and life's problems. I go to the gym every day.
And there will be life's problems. And there will be flies in the ointment. And there will be those flying monkeys there before you knock out the Wicked Witch and everybody cheers for you.
And then what do? Then you get past that and you go back to the gym, or you go back to what you're doing. An amazing piece of cake. Okay, that was delicious. Done. Now you just go back to the way you live.
That's a good point.
Because your
That's a really good point.
Yes.
That's a good point, because you think, and it took me a long time to get over this, to stop sabotaging myself.
Yeah.
And that is, you eat 3 pieces of cake. I love cake. I mean, I could put down a cookie any day. I could ice cream. I could take it, but I love layer cake with lots of frosting in it. I love it. I mean, that's my thing. And I know now that I could eat 4 pieces of layer cake.
Sure.
But I've got to do a balancing act of compensation, and I've got it in my head that because I ate those 4 pieces of cake, I am not a failure. I just have to readjust my thinking and be resilient enough to move forward, because what is your goal? Don't lose sight of that goal. And I knew that all these people around me knew who I was, and they knew what my hard parts were. So, you talk about it, this is a journey, and a journey is something.
A journey is ongoing.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's there's no end to the journey. There's no end to any journeys in life, but there's no end to a weight loss journey, because it's not that when you get to a certain size, I'm the size that I would like to stay at. Ellen is the size she would like to stay at. We are there. But you're not really there because it only takes a week or two of going back to bad habits, and guess what? You're creeping back.
And not trusting yourself. And not trusting yourself, not having confidence that you can't get back to point zero. I think that it's really important to have that trust in yourself, to have that self-awareness. And so Joan talked about the headspace, the exercise, the headspace that you did. I found that yoga was something that really helped me, because when I was feeling like I was really flabby or whatever, I really enjoyed having that where my body just stretched, because that stretching of the body really helped. We're going to talk a lot about journeys in the next YouTubes that we do. And as, Glinda the Good Witch, who said it so well,
the journey is yours.
Right, and you've always had the power, my dear. You just had to learn it for yourself.
Yes.
And the journey is yours. And don't stop believing in yourself, for it's there. Everything is a journey. Everything has steps, and you'll get there.
Yeah.
And from
two gals
in Kentucky, see y'all next time.
There's a new day that will come again tomorrow. There's a new day to wash away